The day before yesterday in this space, I talked about the meaning of being a quarterback, of being a leader, of distinguishing yourself from the crowd with your courage and vision. Since then, Aaron Rodgers has stepped up and quarterbacked with regard to player demonstrations in the NFL, and good for him. That's helpful. One sport we rarely discuss on this show is NASCAR, stock car racing. But among all the figures in the sports world, some of the gutsiest quarterbacking in our current moment as a society has been achieved by a guy who makes his living driving fast. The culture around stock car racing is generally socially conservative. One leading NASCAR team owner indicated that anyone protesting during the national anthem at a race would be fired. And the most famous and beloved driver in the history of the sport, 80-year-old Richard Petty, said publicly that anyone protesting the anthem should leave the country. Understand, Richard Petty's Babe Ruth and Michael Jordan and Joe Montana all rolled up into one person in NASCAR. And he wants to run protesters out of the country. Into that environment stepped the most popular driver in NASCAR today. He is Dale Earnhardt Jr. And in response to all the harsh judgment of the NFL's protest movement, he tweeted this, quote, "All Americans are granted rights to peaceful protests. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable," quoting JFK. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the face of a sport whose other leading lights make no secret of their hostility to Colin Kaepernick and the movement he started. Dale Earnhardt Jr., who didn't choose to bear the legacy of his legendary father, but has stepped up to that challenge. Dale Earnhardt Jr., whose living is dependent on his personal popularity in a huge swath of the American culture, which is not always welcoming of progressive politics, whose sponsors have prominently included the National Guard. Dale Earnhardt Jr., who will surely face the wrath of many of his own fans for speaking truth to power. That's leadership. That's courage. That is a person to be admired. We don't usually talk NASCAR on this show, but today, the most notable quarterback in the sports world drives a Chevy for a living.